Evelyn had always been fascinated by abandoned places. She wasn't a thrill seeker or a ghost hunter, not exactly. She just liked the silence. The weight of history pressed into peeling wallpaper and creaking floors. So when she heard about the old Mortimer House on the edge of town, a place so infamous that even the teenagers wouldn't dare break in, she knew she had to see it for herself. The house had been empty for nearly 70 years. The story went that the Mortimer family had vanished overnight. Dinner still on the table. Candles still burning. Every clock in the house frozen at 2:17 a.m. Some people whispered about murder. Others said the family had simply walked out into the woods and never returned. But there were darker rumors. Two about voices that called to you in the night, and shadows that moved in the corners of your eyes. Evelyn arrived just before sunset. The house stood tall and crooked against the orange sky. Its roof sagging, windows dark and glassless, like staring sockets. Vines crawled up the walls, like veins. She stepped inside with her flashlight. The air was thick, heavy, and wrong, like the house was holding its breath. Dust floated in her beam as she passed through the front hall, and the faint smell of burnt wax lingered. She paused at the dining room. The table was still set for 6. Plates, silverware, and long-decayed food clung to cracked china. Candles melted into grotesque shapes hunched over the plates. And then she heard it. A whisper. Soft, almost inaudible, like someone speaking just behind her ear. She spun, the flashlight beam cutting across the room, empty. She told herself it was wind, but there were no open windows. No breeze. The house was sealed tight. She kept exploring bedrooms, lined with broken dolls. A study where books had rotted on the shelves. Pages curling like dried leaves. And everywhere, that whisper. Growing louder. Always just out of reach. Always too soft to understand. She climbed the staircase, each step groaning under her weight. At the top, she noticed something strange. The hallway mirrors were covered in black cloth, every single one. She lifted a corner of the fabric, just to peek. Her reflection stared back, except it wasn't quite her. Its eyes were too wide, its mouth too tense. And then, it mouthed a word Evelyn didn't say. Stay. She yanked the cloth back over the mirror and backed away. The whispering was louder now, clearer. It wasn't one voice, it was many, dozens, hundreds, layered on top of each other. The clocks began ticking again, every one, all synchronized, all pointing to 2:17 a.m. Her flashlight flickered. Darkness closed in like a fist. She ran down the stairs, across the dining room, toward the door. But when she grabbed the handle, she froze. The whispers stopped. And in that silence, she realized the truth. They weren't whispering to her. They were whispering about her. And in the dining, she turned slowly, heart hammering in her chest.